Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome. And welcome back, KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to become more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. If you would like daily updates on crypto and stock market prices, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as links to the tax software I use and the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please seek out a CTKS ambassador to get 80% off using the links in the description of this video, and you can also apply for a partial CTKS Masterclass scholarship. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently 0.35% down to 19,494. Ethereum is down 0.90% to 1337. As crypto technical analysts, we have a scientific process of actually analyzing the market. The first thing we do is we mark up our charts with the CTKS method. We look beyond the crypto market into the stock markets, into Forex, into global events, into everything. We want to understand what the economic system globally is doing. Then we look back into the crypto market, finding the market's focus and understanding opportunities reset daily. But before we buy or sell, we must master emotional control. When fear is the CEO, you have a very, very bad business because you'll actually buy when you should sell and sell when you should buy. Acting on fear creates the very thing you fear. That's why, as a community, we act on probabilities. We know we control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. That's why we do our BORSOG code each and every day. It's part of our active learning, and the market rewards your knowledge. First thing you do is to see, in your opinion, will the market go down, go flat, or go up? Then, what is the percent probability the price will move against you, go nowhere, or go for you? And then lastly, how synchronized do you feel with the market? This is all about our three-dimensional strategy, having three decisions simultaneously in the market at any one time. We're always thinking about what we will do, what decision we will make, based on courageous action. If the price goes against us, if it goes nowhere, or lastly, if it goes for us. And this is against A, nowhere, N, and F, for, or BORSOG ANF. Thinking about how you would actually do things if price goes against you is very, very important. Most times people are so optimistic they only count the for case. You must have the other two cases playing out at all times with any specific trade and your entire portfolio. Many technical analysts just look at the charts and say, I just have to trade the chart in front of me. Whilst that is true to a degree, every chart that you will look at is influenced by other charts, and this is something that a lot of people miss. When we look at the major indices, and Masterclass students, you get my live chart in LV19. You can see that the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, Taiwan, Dow Jones, the Russell, Australia's market, Germany's market, the UK market, Russia's market, China's market, have all been coming down. There's a lot of geopolitical consternation out there. Many people just think it's Fed rate rises, central banks all around the world raising interest rates. Actually, it's a little bit more. Geopolitical tensions are at an all-time high. Russia is sending dangerous messages to Europe that it wants to escalate its war. This is being met with increased sanctions against Russia. Modern nuclear warfare would be much, much larger than what happened to Japan in World War II. Rockets are far, far smaller, more accurate, and carry a very large payload. The problem with larger payloads is they create more fallout. It's estimated that at least 5,000 million people, 5 billion people, would die as a result of nuclear warfare. And it doesn't matter who starts it, basically nuclear war would end the human race. And when we talk about nuclear warheads, there are many, many nukes located throughout the entire world, but the majority are in Russia and the US. Many people think that nuclear war is just about the bomb blast. It's not. It's about what comes next, which is nuclear winter. When a nuclear bomb goes off, it creates fire, and that fire creates smoke, and that smoke enters the atmosphere. That smoke blocks out the sun, and it would be expected that within a few weeks, the temperature on the planet would drop below freezing. Of course, that would kill all food crops. And it would stay like that for at least a couple of years. It's estimated that the US would lose around 97% of its population, and Russia would lose 98% of its population. And China would lose 98% of its population. And Canada would lose 98% of its population as well. Mid-latitude countries would lose between 50 to 75% of their populations, such as Indonesia and Thailand. These are estimates from Owen Brian Toon, a professor of atmospheric and oceanic sciences. It's really the after effects of the atomic cloud that go off that cause all the world's problems. It basically blocks out the sun, and it stays there for years, plunging the world not only into darkness, but also into the freezing cold. This is a very, very big issue. A lot of people threaten with nuclear weapons, but the consequence of nuclear weapons is absolutely catastrophic. It's therefore not surprising at all that we've seen such weakness in the financial market, and this is causing global markets to sell down. The threat of nuclear war has unraveled financial markets that were already getting unraveled by incredible rate increases. But potentially there may be some good news. We saw an incredible increase in the DXY, which was a safe haven flight to safety response. We've seen the DXY start to come down. That's a very, very positive move. Bond yields have been increasing, just out of control increases. They're starting to stabilize just a little bit, which is causing bond prices to recover just slightly at the moment. But we know the markets are still under resistance. Junk bonds are signifying there's risk off inside the market. And the VIX fear has been spiking. And Masterclass students, you'll receive my live chart and an in-depth explanation in TM6. In the previous session, we saw the S&P 500 drop under its very strong level of support. It's now under resistance. We've also seen the Nasdaq do exactly the same thing. It's under resistance. The next levels are about 4.71% below. And when we look at inflation expectations, we can see the 10-year break-even inflation rate and the 5-year absolutely plummeting off a cliff. That's exceptionally good news. These inflation rates have been a big, big burden on economies across the world. And when we look at the federal funds rate prediction in April 2023, we can see there's been a rejection. The FFR is coming down. It's currently 4.445%. Central banks around the world want demand destruction, and they've got it. We know traditionally September and October are negatively biased price months, but we would expect with midterm elections that November and December should see some very positive price action. But of course, geopolitical tension still reigns. There are many things to keep in mind when you're a crypto technical analyst, because you run the numbers and you do the research and maintain a balanced and hands-off view of what all these facts mean. You just basically say, okay, I understand what's going on. Now, what are the charts telling us? As a crypto technical analyst, we don't take sides, we don't have agendas, we don't have stories. We simply just equate the probabilities of what could happen and then match it to what price action is actually doing. We can see that Bitcoin is holding up particularly well. It's very, very strong at the moment relative to the other markets. Bitcoin is currently trading at 19,487. It's managed to stay above the Armageddon line, and that's exactly what we want to see happen. When Armageddon lines get broken, what it basically means is there's the potential, the probability of further negative price movements, and they can be large. It's the ability to understand market structure and say, ouch, this is a particularly important level. I must pay attention. Whereas other traders and investors, not with this knowledge, would just say, oh, it's just a normal support level. That is the difference between retail thinking and smart money thinking. So far, the Armageddon line has been very, very well defended. We can also see the price is trading above this once resistance line, and it's been confirmed as support. Another thing to note, on the Armageddon line, we actually have a smart money buy level at 18,932. The Armageddon line is 18,942. The concept is there's a degree of market structure, but it's not particularly strong. There's a very specific reason that we look at market structure. For example, if you were around here, around the 11th of June, and said, oh, this is just a normal support line, I'm going all in and more, and then it crunched down like this, and that was a pretty substantial drop. If you came up again to a level of support that there was not a lot of support underneath, would you just simply ignore it and say, oh, it's a great time to buy? Or would you take more care, understanding that when market structure gets violated, you can get some nasty sell-offs? That's rule 359, be on the right side of the percentage. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the percentage. Sometimes it's a good idea to just minimize risk at key structural uncertainty times and periods. There's nearly $2.1 billion worth of options expiring at a max pain price tomorrow of $21,500. That's a lot of money expiring in the options. We'll see if it actually moves the market in any way. Just be aware that max pain after the very large options expiration, nearly $2.1 billion, the next day it's $18,500 for max pain. It's quite possible that we may get a spike up. It's possible that if price follows max pain, we could get something that looks like this, a very big, large push up, like an exponential push up, followed by an exponential decay. These are the things that you must keep in mind. The crypto market is unlike any other market. These explosions and implosions are very, very common. You want to take advantage of them. That's why we have Rule 252, prepared and not scared. We're not scared, we're just prepared. Unfortunately, it's an all too common occurrence that people look at nuclear war and say, yes, this side is justified in using nuclear weapons. What the problem is that if nuclear weapons are used, the counter response to that are that more nuclear weapons will be used. And the counter response to that is nuclear winter and the vast majority of the population dying on the planet. So just keep this in mind. It's not something that anybody should be rushing in towards supporting. The after effects of nuclear war would last for years, and so many people would die unnecessarily. You just got to bear in mind that when nuclear weapons are used, the outcome is just stupid. How are the longs and the shorts dealing with all of this economic news? It's overwhelmingly negative. But nuclear war and the threat of nuclear war has been around for many, many decades. What are we seeing in the shorts? The shorts are increasing in confidence. The longs are not too sure what's going on. Price is very good at giving us the indication. We saw negative price momentum, the longs getting hit. We've seen positive price momentum or the shorts getting hit. Let's have a look at liquidations. We can see over the past 24 hours, 90.4 million in liquidations across 27,774 positions. This is not very high volume. And looking at total liquidations across the past 24 hours, we can see about 55% have been long. Over the past 12 hours, about 52% long. Over the past 4 hours, 77% short. And over the past hour, about 57% short. This is basically meaning the longs and the shorts are pretty much evenly balanced. No one has control of the market. But we can see some positive momentum in price. Price is being supported up here, and it's an increasing level of support, and it's overcome resistance levels, so you should keep this in mind. Masterclass students use the EC method to see that. It's important to understand the whole picture before you dive in to trade anything specifically, be that in the stock market, Forex, or crypto. And in the crypto market, we understand Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Global crypto market cap has decreased 0.09% to 945.94 billion in the last 24 hours. The greatest gainers, XRP up 8.75%, Stellar 7.73% up, EOS 5.4% up, XTC 3.9%, Celo 2.8%, and Flow around 2.5% up. The greatest losers over the past 24 hours in the top 100, Helium down nearly 5%, Stepan a little over 4% down, Kava around 3.5% down, as is Kusama, and Quant about 3.4% down. Crypto technical analysts know that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, and when we look at the gravitational pull of Bitcoin, this blue line, across all the different alts, we can see there's a high degree of correlation occurring. That's directional correlation. We can see Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity, BNB following Bitcoin's gravity but with more strength, ADA following Bitcoin's gravity but with less strength, XRP doing really well. You can see this over-exaggeration in Bitcoin's gravity. This is what the alts do. This is why we love the alts, especially when Bitcoin is going up, but when Bitcoin is going down, not so much. Because the alts will be disproportionately hit percentage-wise when they follow Bitcoin's gravity down. And we can see Solana doing really well, showing strength. Doge just coming back into alignment. DOT is in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, as is Matic. As crypto technical analysts, we subscribe to positive excellence, which is a set of behaviors, ideologies if you like, for sustainable fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. And everybody deserves happiness. And if you get happiness when you arrive at a destination, but not along the path, that is not happiness. Happiness and meaning is a right that you should feel every day. We've had some incredible discussions, incredible comments when fear becomes the CEO of somebody's life. Fear, as CEO of someone's emotional state, does not create positive excellence. It creates negative excellence. It's incredibly important to understand what you fear is what you create. When fear is the CEO of your life, fear will diminish everything within your life, and you'll try to avoid things but end up creating them, not avoiding them. The Dalai Lama said it very well. If you use force, you create fear. Fear destroys trust. Trust is the basis of harmony. The hardliner believes harmony and unity can be brought by force. That's totally unscientific and totally wrong. I agree. And another really good quote, when you are in fear, you create more fear and entangle yourself in mistrust, but in your knowing, you are safe. That is, when courage is guiding your life, you don't have to worry about entangling yourself in mistrust because you trust others, because you trust yourself. Why do you trust yourself? Because you have boundaries. And boundaries are very different to rules. Rules can be violated, but if boundaries are violated, there are consequences. Basically, with courage, you know what you're doing and you will act on it. I appreciate our global family so very much, and thank you everybody for your comments, not just in this video, but in all of the videos. You're just awesome. Badger said, quotes from the video, Courage kills fear. Fear says, I need it all now. Courage says, I go slow to go fast. Fear says, I need to go all in and more. Courage says, I start small and scale with BORSOG. Fear says, it's all over, I'm doomed. Courage says, pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. Thanks so much, Badger. And J-Link said, I sacked my fear CEO for a while now. Best decision ever. Thank you, J-Link. And Oscar said, a life dominated by fear is a shorter one. Our bodies react to fear by preparing for fight or flight. Without an end to that fear, we constantly stay in a state of stress, and that's very taxing, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that becomes an intensifying feedback loop, a downward spiral. Thank you, Oscar. And Kachoria said, living with fear is way too expensive. We cannot afford it. I've learnt it in the military and with martial arts to face fear, and I suggest everyone to try martial arts with an experienced instructor. It helps to also focus on what's really important in life. Of course, none of this is helpful without kindness for ourselves and others. Thank you, my friend. And thank you also to Ivan. Courage is the force that drives us to success, and it's the vehicle in which we will override fear. Today I'm making decisions that will lead to strengthen my will, but I'm calm because right now I feel prepared. The person I was a year ago would be terrified and anxious and smoking, and thanks to positive excellence right now, I feel powerful and ready to overcome that resistance. Ivan, you're a legend. And thank you to Beardy. If someone has fear as the CEO of their life, it will keep them from living life altogether. And I love what Dan said. If who's the CFO if fear is the CEO? That's a fantastic point, Dan. And we should look more into these board members. If fear is the CEO, who's the CFO? Anger and doubt. And who are the other board members? Shame and guilt, blame and conflict, regret and addictions and unhappiness. Wow, that board is pretty toxic. What about courage? If courage is the CEO, who's the CFO? Empathy and worthiness. And what are the other board members? Who are they? Forgiveness and kindness, learning and action, boundaries and meaning, and success and happiness. We can always make a choice if we want to look at the world where we think that everyone and everything is an enemy, or we can think everyone is a friend and everything works out. It's always within our power to change our minds from fear into courage. And why do we care if fear is the CEO or courage is the CEO? Because fear is the CEO of a person's life in Zone 1 and Zone 2, and courage is the CEO of a person's life in Zone 3 and Zone 4. In Zone 1 and Zone 2, we just lose money, relationships, jobs, health, you name it. And in Zone 3 and Zone 4, we make relationships, we make happiness and meaning, success, firm relationships, good relationships, friendships, so many good things come from Zone 3 and Zone 4. Until the dictator of fear is deposed from your life, you will always reside in Zone 1 and Zone 2, and they're very, very harsh places to live. And don't forget, this is chaos zone analysis and the 4 stages that every single investor and trader progresses through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth and positive excellence. It's very normal for the dictator of fear to be installed when you first get into the markets, but you have to dethrone him. You have to overthrow him if you want to be profitable and you want to be happy. And one way to get rid of that dictator of fear is through the CTKS creed. Fear won't like you reading these things out, and if you get a negative reaction towards any of these statements, fear has somehow wiggled its way into your mind. And one thing to remember, fear is like a mosquito. When the mosquito actually bites you, you don't feel it. You only feel it later. And just like a mosquito sucks your blood out, the fear, the CEO of fear, the dictator of fear, actually destroys your lifeblood, your life essence. And literally, fear as a CEO is a dictator. It will dictate how you should respond. You'll have no free will. Your freedom will be gone. That's why the dictator of fear sucks all the happiness out of your life, just like a mosquito sucks your blood out. And every box in the positive excellence framework is deliberately designed to kill fear. Fear is only overcome by courage. And it does take a lot of courage to be kind in an unkind world, to be decent in an indecent world, to have integrity when no one else seems to have integrity, to find gratitude when things are going wrong, and to find inner peace when peace is the last thing that you would look at because there's so much turmoil in the world. And especially having empathy and love. Fear says you don't have to work for it. It's your right. You have the right to take whatever you want. Positive excellence doesn't say that. Positive excellence is about if you don't earn it, you lose it. How do you earn something? Through persistence and commitment. And that takes a lot of courage. And this is why the CTKS Creed not only primes our minds for profitability in the crypto market, but it can install behaviors such as positive excellence, which actually undermine and weaken fear. For example, every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. Fear, as a CEO, as a dictatorial CEO, would not want you to show any kindness, any integrity, or any gratitude. After all, the world is against you and you have to fight. But who said it's against you? This world isn't against anyone. There's a very powerful rule in life. If you earn it, you keep it. And that's a rule. That's why we say I am dedicated and committed, because you put in the hard work, you're going to earn it. And that's why we also say there is no failure, only learning. I win or learn and never blame. Blame is the CFO to the CEO of fear. If you've got blame in your life, and it's easy to have that in your life, but if you do, you're actually walking down a dark path, because blame prevents learning. And if we don't learn, we can't act differently next time. And this is why life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. When you have such volatile markets and so much uncertainty about the future, it's really important to ground yourself, finding inner peace and inner harmony and moving away from conflict. There are so many health benefits to this. Any decrease in stress will help you live a happier and longer life. Stress is a major problem in modern society. Anything that you can do to get rid or minimize stress is something that you should focus on. And the only real way to combat stress in financial markets is to learn as much as you possibly can. The more you learn, the more you will earn. And you have to be dedicated and persistent to learn about these volatile markets. And the critical thing is to get out of Zone 1 and Zone 2 as quickly as humanly possible. Before I developed KS Zone analysis, people didn't know what zones they were in. And they especially didn't know how to escape them. Crypto is volatile because the emotional state of the markets is very volatile. If you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do each and every day, 7 days a week, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. I'll be reaching out to contact the shortlisted Purpuratum CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship awardee. The CTKS Masterclass is a premium Rolls-Royce level masterclass on crypto technical analysis using the CTKS method. That's a method of technical analysis I invented specifically for crypto that accounts for exponential implosions and explosions in price and updates normal stock market and forex technical analysis to the 21st century. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.